We're just hanging out around the finish, waiting for Katie to finish. She's just about halfway through. We're kind of just walking around, see the finish there. Hanging out. It is rainy and cold still. It did warm up like quite a bit once I got moving. I thought I was going to wear the sweatshirt the whole time, and I ended up taking it off and just tying it around my waist, literally like a mile in. And I felt dumb. It's like I probably could have just taken it off and put it in my bag, but it was fine. I was glad to have it right after the race. Got our brekkie, and we are just about back to the room, and we'll have to kind of get things packed up.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time.
Yeah, but we'll go probably see a movie in between.
I think we want to see Eternal.
Yes, very exciting. Alright guys, so we're at our room at Beach Club. This is a 1-bedroom villa, and we're gonna go ahead and show you around. If my key card wants to work. There we go. You walk in, you have all our bags in the entranceway here. And then walk out into the main room out here. You have your dining area over here. And you have your couch, which pulls out into a bed. You have chair and cabinet space over there. You see they have the USB outlets and everything up on that. Over on this side, you're going to have your kitchen. It's a fully stocked kitchen. You got a full refrigerator. You have the oven, microwave. And then you also have all your glassware. Usually, I think down here is your got cleaning supplies. Nothing in those ones. Somewhere in here you have cookware and such too. Yeah, there we go. Pots, pans, all of that fun stuff. That's the main room. Hi, Katie. Over on the side here, you have your little washer dryer unit. That closes like that. There's kind of 3 parts to the bathroom over here. You have the main area with the shower. You have the toilet room. One thing I don't like about these 1-bedroom designs is there's like 4 doors for the bathroom. But then you have a big bathtub here, a sink area, and then back here Should also be, yeah, you have your safe area and your iron, vacuum, washing board, and also a laundry basket. We do have to do some laundry here, so that is good. And we have the master bedroom over here. Nice big bed. You have the two, oh yeah, perfect. So there's an outlet on the back of that with USB ports. Another tabletop area over here. Another seat, another chair there as well. A little work desk, and then go out and show you our view. Another one of my favorite things about one bedrooms are you get the really nice big balconies over here. These are very cool. See, I have my little camera over there shooting a time lapse while we do this. And then we have basically just like a standard pool view over on the side here. You can see the quiet pool over on this side. And that's the front entrance area over there by the bridge, and the parking area over there. Alright, so we have done our resort hopping and all that fun things. We spent some time at Disney Springs and saw Eternals.
Turtles is really good.
Yes, it was very good. Happy we got to see
You
it.
should go see it.
We actually went and took a stop at Publix because we cooked dinner in the room tonight because we are now in a one-bedroom at Beach Club, which hopefully should be nice for the race. But we're going to go ahead and talk about the 10K today. Now we're going to have kind of very different perspectives because I started in the very first corral, and I believe you started in the very last one today, right?
Yes, I did.
And that wasn't necessarily like proof of time, that was just the way it happened.
There's a whole story to it.
But it will be kind of fun to kind of go back and forth about the differences of these races. So I'll go ahead and start. So this was a cold and rainy morning, much colder than the 5K was.
Yeah.
And the rain was a little more of like a mist.
Yeah, it was so much of a mist that my weather app told me it was not raining, and it very much, I think, should be considered rain.
Yes, and it was like that the whole time. And it was considerably cold. We think we both had
Much
sweatshirts
colder.
on for the starts of the race.
I wore 3 layers. I wore a tank top, a long sleeve Run Disney shirt, and a zip up like athletic jacket over that. Kept them on the entire time.
Yes,
was
I
cold.
wore a sweatshirt and my tank top, but I did end up taking the sweatshirt off about a mile into the race.
Yep. I also brought a poncho and a hat, which I kind of grabbed out the door thinking, just in case I don't think I'll need these, needed them. Like, as soon as I got off the bus, I was like, oh, I'm so glad I brought these. I think you were probably wishing you had your poncho at the waiting of the start.
No, actually, what I wish I had done was I wish I had taken my sweatshirt off before I went to the corrals and put it in my checked bag, and I wish I had brought just a Mylar blanket because I thought I was going to wear the sweatshirt, honestly, the whole race, and then I got a mile in and I was like, oh, this is too hot, and I had switched my bib over to my sweatshirt, so then I was like mid-run taking my bib off to switch it over to my tank top, and then I was like trying to tie the sweatshirt and I couldn't get it to sit right.
Oh no.
So
that was like a common theme with a lot of people this morning. It was just such weird weather, this weird mist. It felt freezing when you weren't moving, but I know I felt great once I started moving. I didn't feel like I needed to take off my layers, but I didn't feel cold either. It was like the perfect amount for me. So that's just such a weird weather day that we don't get a lot in Florida, so it's not really something we can practice.
Yeah, so that's what I would have done, or I should have brought a throwaway, which
Yeah.
would have been another genius idea.
Yeah, the weather was rough today. That was probably the only bad part of today. I think everything else actually went pretty well for both of us.
Yep, I was in the first start group, so I went off right after the wheelchairs. So I did see some minor differences with the start groups today compared to the 5K or corrals. And that was that there was a lot more people in that start group 1. It is like a bigger corral area. It's much wider. And I did notice like a higher number of bibs, I think, in that than usual. And I actually did, when I got in a little bit later than usual, and I got stuck behind what should have been wave 2. I very nicely asked the guy, I said, hey, I've got some friends up there, can I meet with them? He said, yeah, no problem, and let me go.
Nice.
Yeah, they're usually pretty nice about that. I saw other people doing it as well. So I got up there, met up with some friends, chatted a little bit until the race start. But kind of the change there is they used to not rope off until you were basically started moving, and then they went to rope you off. Now it felt like they kind of filled that first section, roped it, and then we're filling the second section, roped it. I honestly, again, would just rather see them go back to corrals. I felt like there was always less people up in at least corral A for them being, but I don't see why going to 4 corrals would be any different in the back either.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure the reasoning behind this yet. That's been something I was very curious about this weekend. I mean, one aspect to it is they don't have to set up as many of those like caged off areas, I noticed. I don't know how that saves any time or makes things more efficient, but that is going to be true. Instead of having to do A through H or A through G, they only have to do 4, you know. So I can't figure that one out yet, but I'm going to keep trying.
Yep. I did notice, and I don't know if your corral was like this, but at least corral 2 or starting group 2, they had like the big area, but then it funneled into a it funneled in, so there were people already in that funnel area kind of waiting.
Yes, that was true for ours, and that is part of the reason why we ended up almost at the very back of the race, because we weren't paying enough attention to how the line was moving.
Yes, so tomorrow especially, I'm planning on getting to my corral or start group a little earlier than I did today.
And a couple other things I want to say before we like get into the race itself is they did have some cool like photo ops available in the waiting area. They didn't have characters out that I could see, but they had what they've been doing is like featuring like a different villain's like throne. So at the start line today, they had the Queen of Hearts chair, and then they had, this was really cool, they had the Nautilus.
Yes, which we saw, I think, at Marathon Weekend, was out at Epcot.
Yeah, that was like one of the coolest, and I'm hoping it's there tomorrow. I don't know if you got a picture of it today.
I got some like far away footage of it.
So, but I'm thinking it might be there tomorrow because I noticed at the end of the 10K, they had the Evil Queen's chair and the mirror, the magic mirror, which is what was
the same
at
as the
start of the 5K. So it seems like they're maybe leaving them there. So if the Nautilus is there, which I really hope they leave it because people are going to think it's really cool, I hope we get a picture of it.
Yeah, that was very cool. I would still have liked to maybe see some characters since we saw them on the course. And I don't know if maybe they did the scenes thinking they would be less popular, but I thought the lines looked just as long as any other character.
Yep, and then they also had a Ursula character out as well, but I believe she was just being filmed to show on the big screen is what it looked like. I actually didn't see her on the screen, but I saw other people's videos of this happening.
It was cool though.
It was very cool. It was like her parade character. So she kind of rolls around with her tentacles, and it's really the perfect social distancing character because her little contraption like is like almost 6 feet away. So it's a cool thing. But I just wanted to touch on what was there at the start because that's always a fun part of the Disney races too.
Once the race starts, the first 3 miles of this race is definitely the more boring part.
And it felt even sloggier because of the weather. Like I just kept thinking like this feels so much worse than it normally does because it feels like we're running through like cold swamp. Yeah. I basically ran the first 3 miles of this race like pretty quick. And then once I got to the 3rd mile and I knew that Hollywood was coming up, I slowed down. But there were some good characters. So first up, you had Maleficent. There wasn't a photo pass person with her. She was actually almost like down off in the ditch. I didn't even like get to kind of go up close to
take a video, but I did get a little video of her.
Mhm.
She was kind of far away, but she was right there about half a mile or so in from the start. And then right after mile 1, you had Jack Skellington, which is pretty cool. He is he's one of the race characters, but typically, you know, for hot boo bashes and that kind of stuff, like he's a popular meet and greet, so that was cool. Shortly after that, you also had Oogie Boogie then. So,
which I've never seen as a character before, so I was very excited to see they had him out there.
Yes, that is a cool character.
Yeah.
And then right before mile 3 is when you go up onto the overpass. It's on the turn there on your hill. Right before that, they had the old hag, or the
that was
evil
cool.
queen.
Yeah, from Snow White with her cauldron and, you know, everything.
This character stop was really exposed to the elements though. It was like under a tree, but my PhotoPass photographer was like having a hard time, so I ended up with like just this really ridiculous photo that will be over this. It made me laugh, but it was a pretty terrible photo, but it's funny.
Yeah.
So as you're running up onto the overpass, you do hit mile 3. That's going to be your only mile checkpoint along this course, the only mat that you run across. So you get your update there. And then you run up on Epcot Resorts Boulevard for maybe a quarter or a little bit longer of a mile, and you cut right into backstage of Hollywood Studios. For me, they had Hades there.
See, Hades was not there. That was a surprise when I saw pictures of him. When we went in to Hollywood, I think maybe he might have just been taking a break because they were playing his Hercules music, so maybe he just was taking a break. I don't think they had replaced him with anyone. Although what they should have done is had him switch out with Pain and Panic. That would have been really good.
I don't think I've ever seen them.
My opinion. I've seen them in parades, so I know they have the costumes.
Cool. But yeah, that was probably the character stop I was most excited about. I don't think I've ever gotten a picture with him or seen him as a face character.
I would have been really excited to see him in person, so I'm kind of bummed that I missed out on that one.
Yes, so I did get that one, and then you run up the hill and you go by the Fantasmic stage, and you run down by Tower of Terror. You run down Sunset Boulevard, and then you make a quick cut left back to backstage area, and you kind of run out along the path for the exit for Fantasmic that takes you right to the exit of the park. You go out the park and you're running on the path to take you towards Boardwalk and Beach Club. Yep.
Along this path, they did have a little Chernobog photo op. It was just kind of a backdrop type, but I thought it was a cool thing that I hadn't seen before. Cool villain that's kind of a little more they can't do that as a face character, but I thought it was cool that they gave a photo opportunity with him.
Yeah, it was a nice little addition where there would have just been nothing otherwise, so that was cool.
So I started a lot later after, in the last corral. I think we were 2 waves ahead of the back, and I will say I was very pleasantly surprised with how this path went for us. I was expecting it to be the typical, you can only walk, can't get around anybody, everyone's complaining about, it was not like that. It was very much, we had some walkers, pretty single file, and then we had a running single file lane, and I was very, very pleased with how that went. So just a good experience.
How were the character stop lines? I know you didn't stop for anything, but
yeah, we did not stop for anything. We took my friend who I was running with took some just pictures, mostly to show her son of characters he liked. But lines were not bad. I think we were at about the point where people were scared to stop type situation and potentially get swept. There were a few characters who did not have any lines, and some of them were the selfie type situation, but not all of them. And I almost suggested we stop at some. That's how short they were, and that's unusual for me. I don't usually stop.
Yes, and since she brought up kind of the selfie style, the character stops were very similar to the past. The only thing is that there was basically, their scene had some sort of ring around them to kind of keep you distance from them, so you couldn't go up right next to them. But I thought it was still pretty much the same experience that you would have gotten. You run up or you wait in line, you get your picture quick, and you move on.
I'm guessing this actually helps speed up a lot of picture stops because I think a lot of people probably don't even think about it, go up and start trying to like have a little banter with character the way you would do maybe like in the parks. And I think this cut down on a lot of that because you obviously like couldn't really get up and talk to the character as close.
Also, it leaves a little bit of open space between them and the character, so some people could come up and just get like a side selfie quick and then move on, which I think also helped.
Yeah, which I think a lot of people are okay with. So it just cuts down on the time it takes everyone to get through the line. So that was really nice.
I'm running along the beach club area. The boardwalk beach club pathway was soaked. I didn't find it to be slippery, but I definitely think you could.
Yeah, I felt like it was a little slippery. I'm always scared of that part of the run, though.
Yep.
I'm very cautious there because I don't want to fall and get hurt.
Yep. Right at this part is where you hit mile 5, actually. Basically, right when you're running under the slide for the beach club pool there.
Yep. They didn't have any characters along the Boardwalk Beach Club.
Yes, they did. They had the Big Bad Wolf right before the yacht club there.
That's right. For some reason in my mind he was in Epcot, but no, he was at the yacht club.
Yep.
That was a cool one.
Yeah.
You know, throwback. It's not like a typical villain, so I like it.
Go ahead.
Shortly before you get into Epcot, they actually had construction worker guys out there. I don't know if they were out there.
They weren't out for me.
They basically roped off a little area. So they had appeared in this area in the past while it was under construction when they were building the Skyliner. This time they roped off a little area and like put like some tools and stuff there, but it was like not under construction, but they were kind of joshing with people about like, I don't know, different construction-y things. It was very funny.
That is pretty funny. They've also been over by where they were building Guardians before too for some races. We've seen them.
Yep.
But that's cool. They also had the screen there again. They were playing Little Mermaid, or at least scenes and music from that when I went by. Don't recall seeing any sort of character to accompany that though.
No, I don't think there was. I looked around. Shortly after that, when we turned and went into the park, there was another water stop, which they usually do in that back part of Epcot. I think that was the last water stop. Yeah, that would have been the last one.
Then you run into Epcot, you cut a left, and this finish is the same as the 5K. You go left past the Canada Pavilion, and you cut another left to go back towards Journey into Imagination, the land, and all of that. This was one of my favorite parts of the race because this time they had the ball lit up with some of the beacons of magic, and it was just doing the same like scene. It wasn't doing the whole thing, but it was nice to see. It was kind of cool to run towards. Definitely some cool photo ops there.
Also in this area near the Imagination Pavilion, they did have Bowler Hat Guy.
He must not have been out for me or I missed him because I would have stopped for that.
I got very excited. Yeah, he was definitely there. Remember that.
Very cool. Then you go through the front part of Epcot, go under Spaceship Earth, and you go back out that side and run that traditional finish through the flower beds there and onto your finish for your 10K.
Yeah, it was so fun. I had a great time.
It was a lot of fun. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I slowed down a little bit and did some pictures and filming and whatnot, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. The waiting to start was a little miserable. I would have been even more miserable if I didn't have a friend and some new friends there to distract me at the beginning, so I'm really grateful for that.
The finish area was pretty much the same as always. You finish right away. They kind of keep you moving after the finish. They had tons of photo pass people there. You go and you grab your medal, but it's Jack and Oogie Boogie, 10K, Disney's Wine and Dine. Then sorry, it's gonna always want to focus on our face. But then you have the strap, and just like before, you have Walt Disney World 50. Now this one does actually have some embellishment on the back due to some, I think, copyright reasons. They have to designate Nightmare Before Christmas content, so you have that on the back there. After that, same thing, you get your snack boxes. They have the water, Powerade out.
They actually were handing out Mylar blankets
Yes.
this day, which was really nice.
Yes, it was.
Because it's still it stayed cold all day, so it was cold at the finish too.
Yep, I grabbed another one to have for the half marathon morning. I did go and get pictures at the magic mirror and the throne that were sitting there. I feel like they could have had more out, especially since if they weren't going to do characters, they could have probably set up some more scenes out there.
Yeah, probably. I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe if we're lucky, there'll be more out tomorrow.
I didn't see much at the finish because once I finished, we were ready to go and be warm.
Yes, I did get cold again
Yeah,
sitting out there waiting.
you were waiting for, because he finished before I started, so he was out there a while.
Yes, I did have fun though. I, filmed people at the finish and walked around a little bit and all of that fun stuff. But that's gonna be our 10K day. We are gonna kind of wrap up here, get ready for bed, and get ready for the half marathon tomorrow. Very exciting.
Starting to get nervous.
You got this.
Okay.
You can do it. But that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all of that fun YouTube-y stuff. We will have tons of different content and full videos for just the races themselves up on our channel as well this weekend. And thanks for watching. Bye guys.
Bye.